Shin Godzilla.
It's good, right?
It's good.
Good.
2016 release.
This is like your third Godzilla. I mean, you watched the '98.
Yeah, of course.
And I think you said you'd seen like you were like, oh, it had like a bug and like that.
Yes.
And I think it was like a Megalon one or some shit.
Something like that.
So like this year, like kind of first official like new canon adult paying attention Godzilla, I guess.
Kinda, yeah. I've seen the Cranston one, the Legendaries. I've seen that.
You have seen those.
I've seen Zilla Kong. It's actually the reason why I got HBO Max.
No,
like,
the newest,
the newest
one,
one.
right? Okay.
Yeah, Kong vs. Zilla.
Got some bullet trains in that.
He is. Huh? We just finished that
Leonard.
review.
Yeah.
Coming soon. But
okay, I thought you'd seen those, but I wasn't sure.
I didn't like pay attention to them but I had seen them when they were talked about and come out. I missed the second one, which was what is it? World of Monsters or something.
War
King of Monsters.
King of Monsters. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
remake, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Kind of remake, like a spiritual remake.
I missed that one, and from what I gather, that's one of the best ones.
It's
as far as characters.
Yes,
there's
because
a lot.
the Cranston one is its own kind of. It's like Cloverfield.
Right.
It's very like kind of found footage. It's introducing, it's kind of like the first half of '98.
Yeah.
And then like
it's
the whole
actual,
the Cranston death arc and shit. It's not really about Godzilla. It's an unknown
about the
monster.
people that are finding Godzilla.
Yeah. The second one's just it's a kaiju movie. Yeah,
exactly. And when I seen Zilla vs. Kong, it's poised a lot more kaiju movie as well.
It's more stereotyped.
It's monster.
Yeah, it's more singular. War of the Monsters or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I love Godzilla. Just there's a million names and blah blah blah.
And they're all something king.
But
or something
it has
monster.
Rodan, who's a fan favorite, who's OG.
Yeah.
It has King Ghidorah,
yeah,
obviously.
Of course.
The three-headed gold dragon.
Yes.
So I mean, it's dope to have him there.
Yeah.
It's a good approach. I wouldn't say it's the best Godzilla movie, but it's the legendary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's King Ghidorah. You can't complain.
I imagine we'll get to those eventually, the legendaries.
Yeah.
Just because we're gonna.
Well, we're already there.
Ipso facto, yeah.
We did Skull Island or something, right?
No, not yet.
But yeah, I think we've already done the Peter Jackson and
Peter Jackson 98.
We have to do the other one just because John C. Reilly's in it.
Oh, we love him.
But we're doing Shin. Sorry.
No, of course, but it's good to preface the Shin conversation with kind of like where we're coming from.
Yeah, you're super. Yeah. I'm a huge fan, and you're abstract. I think we mentioned it in '98. So yeah, but
I like it in passing. Yeah, I did. I dug it. It's a Japanese movie, so going in subtitles. You're gonna have to read subtitles, of course, but that doesn't take away from the story. I remember the old ones. We talked about it previously. I think they're in '98, where they used to come on TNT on late night, and it would be like Godzilla vs. Ghidorah 2 or whatever. The old black and white one with the monsters on the strings, and the bus was a Hot Wheel, and so I'd seen those before. I don't remember the names or anything like that. I just seen them in passing.
No one does unless you give a shit.
Right. But the Shin one, you were telling me beforehand, is a completely different take on the Godzilla, its monster itself.
In my opinion, it's Japan's version of Godzilla '98.
Right.
Making its own new, unique one that's completely abstract.
And, from what I gathered from watching the film and getting set for this, the original one was, a metaphor for the nuclear bombs.
Yes,
it was
and
birthed
this one
from that.
is a literal.
It's
a remake.
Yeah, this one was from the the tsunami and
it's response to that, but in the movie
and the reactor and everything.
Yeah, it was there.
It was fresh inspiration.
Yeah, it was there. Which is big for Japan to have such a successful and praised movie.
Yeah.
That's about criticizing its own government.
Yeah.
But it's essentially a retaliation to their response to the either here.
The Fukushima.
Yeah, Fukushima, and there was another
reactor.
one too, one or two back to back, and they're just their shit response to it. Their slowdown. It was everything was bureaucracy.
But when you think about it from that kind of that lens, it kind of puts the whole movie in perspective, because the whole time the government and Shin Godzilla is very lackluster, just disregarding the whole situation, because they believe it to just be a nuclear
the nerds
mutated
solve it.
The
nerds solve it.
It's just a mutated fish or whatever. They're not too worried about it when they have the initial reports. the one guy has the theory. And he's like, I don't know. I think the thing's fucking like.
Yeah, you asked that because you were like, what's their shtick? Like, why they have footage and it's like they admit that it's real. It's like, I was like, I had to explain to you, like, I don't know because some Godzilla movies, other monsters exist.
Yeah.
Other ones, they act like they've never been attacked. So it's really weird.
Yeah.
They kind of take it as like a giant squid, mutated fish, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm like, why would you not take that seriously?
Shouldn't you at least go look at that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like weird. It like almost reminded me of like Pacific Rim.
Kinda, yeah, very.
Like, when they first like quickly glance over, like in the beginning, we thought blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you thought like that's still a fucking huge squid.
Right,
What the fuck
like,
is going on?
What the fuck, dude? Because it's just Godzilla's tail.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily show the firstborn, but this Shin mutates.
Yeah.
That was
constantly grows.
His big approach. What is the director's name? I know he's the Neon Genesis guy. Blah blah blah.
Let me see.
Um,
The director is Hidetaki Anno.
Okay.
Hidetaki Anno. Is that how you say
I want
it?
to say Hirataki.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hirataki's approach was it's mutations.
And yeah, he did do Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, that's like his
95.
whole. That's yeah. That's his like love child thing, like his
Right.
brainchild. But yeah, his whole thing was mutations, and he wanted to mutate on screen, to kind of show again the effects of radiation.
Yeah.
And again, the whole movie is a metaphor remake of the original, which is a subplot in Shin is Japan has an X amount of time before America and the world
Yeah.
nukes Japan.
Because of the radiation levels.
And because of
yeah,
to just kill Godzilla.
It's going to set off alarms globally, and
Yeah.
America's going to come blow
But-
up the country
Exactly.
again because to neutralize Godzilla.
Yeah, it is really tense when you think about that, and not a lot of other Godzilla movies have taken that moment to be like, there's a
We could
potential
all die,
that
yeah.
we have to fucking nuke Japan again.
Right.
And this time it's not war. This time it's it's just we have to kill
To
millions
save the
and
world.
millions of people again. Yeah, there's that huge like doomsday clock in the background, which I really enjoyed. His approach was that like tension again, because it's usually just the old ones at least was like just fucking Japanese guys in turtlenecks
Of course.
who like just happen to like stumble upon something, and he has a fucking hot Japanese girl next to him, and like. There's a spy coming in with sunglasses, and it's just jazz music and shit.
Very, like, their response to, like, 007 almost.
Yeah, a lot of them were like, like the Hedera one and Biolante are, like, super abstract in that way. Like, Hedera is super trippy and monster. Like,
Yeah.
You're there for monsters and craziness and evolving, which is why I brought it up. And, Biolante is, like, a spy thriller.
Yeah, I was about to say, and with a spy underplot.
Yeah. So it's they kind of always use Godzilla as like this framing point in films. Like, can we try it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, it was fun to go back to experimenting.
This one was actually the highest grossing Japanese produced Godzilla film in the franchise.
I believe it.
Shin was. It won like 11 Japan Academy Prizes. And they were nominated for 11, won 7, including Picture of the Year and Director of the Year. So, as this is what next in the timeline from 98 Zilla, like...
No, I don't know. It's just, in my opinion, their response to it, because it was the first time they did something different.
Right.
And that's why it did so well. We were doing something different for the first time, and Godzilla looks like Godzilla.
Yeah.
If I would have told you what Godzilla looked like, you would have just found whatever, and we would have thought the Shin was a fan fiction.
Yep.
Like, what movie is that from? Like, it's an official Godzilla movie. I mean, his fucking mouth opens and he evolves on screen. It's weird.
And, yeah, the runtime is 2 hours, actually, and it didn't feel like 2 hours. I mean, like, we kind of skimmed through some of it.
I mean, if you're super stoked and, like, you genuinely care, it's definitely worth it. But as far as talking about a Godzilla movie, you talk about the undertones.
Yeah.
And you talk about the monsters. Well, it's a monster movie. Other than the undertones, I'm Monster Attack 1.
Exactly.
Monster Attack 2. Monster Attack 3.
That's the movie.
What are humans doing? The end.
100%.
So it's just the context. Oh, is this a James Bond spoof? Or is this a fucking Yellow Submarine knockoff? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
And the first time we see Shin, like you said, they think it's a squid.
Or something, yeah. Like I said, they kind of
something out in the water, and
because it just looks like a tentacle.
Yeah, and it's just a tail. But then you see it come out of the water. Oh my god, that face! It looks like a puppet.
It is.
Like it has the face of a puppet, but it's this fucking huge worm-like mutated death thing. It's just like bleeding. It's just like leaking whatever it is all over the fucking place. Yeah,
it's pouring blood and infection and bacteria.
Yeah, it's like this pool of black and red. Yeah, just this big virus.
It's really weird. It looks like Miss Piggy and Kermit.
Oh yes.
It's really fucking weird. But yeah, it's essentially like in perpetual pain, screaming like because it's evolving
the whole time.
It's oh my god. It's so good, and you don't see that. There was never like, Godzilla destroying a city, but not this like half fetus thing rolling in the street in pain, bleeding everywhere in the tunnel.
And we've never seen the formation of a Godzilla before. Usually they're already standing.
No, we saw, like 98 with the eggs and the baby.
Right.
But it was just a small.
It also looked like a dinosaur as well.
Yeah, it was the same thing, just smaller. It was like it was like a lab. You're gonna get a lab puppy. It's gonna look like a lab. It's like fucking. What the fuck is this? So
like this thing, you see it and it grows slowly into the form of Godzilla.
Yeah, it's everything is on this fast time lapse.
Yeah.
In as far as evolution, like it's not a natural evolution, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's why it's like screaming in pain.
Yeah, so it's like screaming in pain, and then like after a while, and they're like, the Japanese government's kind of admitting like, okay, something's going on. There's a radiation trail. We're hearing these attacks. Blah blah blah. It like just slams itself against buildings more and more to stand.
Yeah.
And then like, the effect is kind of shitty, but it's a CG movie and it's against whatever.
Right.
And it just kind of bubbles like a reboot cartoon, and grows arms into like the bigger true form.
Yeah, where it's actually standing upright and looks like the Godzilla figure we know.
Yeah, I mean this new one. Yeah,
like the
one
modern
on the poster.
Thing. Yeah,
not the one before.
No. Not Lizardzilla.
And again, it's a remake because it has all these like same shots, just shot differently.
Yeah.
Because they have the fully formed Godzilla coming to the bay, going into the lower valleys and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
As this fully formed menace that's, we have the camera angles of them turning up. And it's the first time the military showing up kind of thing. You get all these these shots again that usually don't, or you do but don't mean anything in other Godzilla movies. Because obviously the tanks are going to come. Obviously the jets are going to come.
Yeah.
But because this one's so different, you're like, okay, what the fuck? Because, bullets and shit might take it out at this point. You don't know. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then we get back into the characters. And that's the bulk of it. They're forming the team.
Yeah, the whole, like...
And I think they call them the losers. They, like, purposely, like, oh, we have the fuck-ups, the math geeks, the da-da-das. And they're trying to come up with a peaceful, not nuking Japan option.
Can we, like, try to not kill us?
Yeah, they give them, like, fucking 24 hours or whatever the time frame is.
Like, sure, we're human. 2 days. Fine, we're human. You got 2 days. Figure the fuck out.
You got 48 hours to get only the hot winds out of there.
We have a plane on the way now. It's going to take the long way.
You know what? Okay? 2 planes.
Yeah.
We'll get Norway to pitch in some gas.
Yeah, we're going to stop. We're going to refuel once. Get a chicken sandwich. We're going to get back in the car. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. That's what America told Japan. They were like, look, 2 days.
Okay. Are you making a phone call?
Yeah, I got to, look, try the chicken farm. It's really good.
It's really good.
Good sauce here.
I'm just going to make a phone call and be right back.
That's what it feels like, though. Like,
it absolutely is. Yeah, they start like I said, they begrudgingly let this guy have a team.
Absolutely, and one of the best scenes I saw was when he's in the river, like the canal, kind of in town. He like when he's, I guess, very early in the formation with the boats, where he's in the water and like he takes out the whole bridge. that was just a cool visual of like a tidal wave of these little ships.
It's in between because there's like they do a lot of interlacing with the evolution and human response right away.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, but I know you're talking about that scene.
Yeah, and somewhere in between the growth, but it was big enough to make that huge tidal wave, and like it was just an awesome visual to get the boats going over the top, breaking the bridge.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Another scene of chaos with
not so much the bridge, but the boats.
the boats.
I swear to God, there's like 19 Godzilla / kaiju films where it's like the boat. We have to have a boat in the bay.
Yeah.
And something's going on with the boat. I don't
Gotta
know.
fuck up
a lot
the
of
boat.
tax write-offs, I think. Like I think like producers were like they were like promised a yacht and it was like okay if we write
we gotta buy 3 of these. We're gonna blow up 2. I'm bringing 1 home.
absolutely kind of thing. But yeah, it was just
Gotta
there's
love
always a bay.
Gotta love Hollywood for that.
But it was fun with the found footage kind of approach.
Yeah, I did like the found footage take. I'm a fan of found footage films. I guess like by default. I guess like Paranormal Activity. I liked the first one. I liked like Blair Witch for what it is. Cloverfield. I liked like.
Is it I don't know what it is, but there's one of them. Alaska. And like some girls having nightmares. It's you know that whole thing.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I watched one of those in theaters and I was like, okay.
It's decent.
It might have been paranormal. I don't know exactly, but
probably so because they've gone on for a while now.
Again, I'm not a fan of all the but I like it somewhat.
And Project X is another found film footage film that I've watched several times over, and I kind of like it.
It's alright.
It's
I've seen it.
Funny party movie or whatever. Dipshit's in it. Miles Teller.
Okay.
Who I would go on to Love and Whiplash. We gotta do Whiplash.
We do.
Talking about that.
We gotta do Invincible.
That wouldn't be bad either.
Have you seen it yet? Did I know I showed you like an
Think so.
episode or two.
Think so.
Alright. We might do it soon because I mean it's a short series. It's not short series, but I mean it's one arc.
I'm with it.
There's not a shit ton of like strings to tie up.
But you pointed out to me with Shin Godzilla, it's actually made up of like bodies. Like toward the end, it becomes human bodies growing off it.
Yeah, it's one of its evolutions. It's the last on screen.
Yeah.
That didn't get to happen, but yeah,
but
it was again. It's really
reminded me of like the Death Tree in 300 with the bodies hanging off the tree.
I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen the movie. I like 300.
Yeah.
It gets shit on a lot, but I mean it's.
No, I love the first
It's
one.
one
The
of Zack
second one.
Snyder's
The
best.
second one is terrible. The first one is
Meet the
phenomenal.
Spartans. Meet the Spartans is good.
No, it's like Rise of the Empire.
No, it's the one with the painting on the abs on the fat guy.
Yeah.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah,
Best sequel, yo.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, the bodies at the end. It was just he was supposed to like he wanted to go on longer, like another 40 minutes or some shit. And it was supposed to be like its own galaxy toward the end of it.
That would have been
It was supposed
cool.
to like destroy the planet from within with all those. Like the human bodies was supposed to be one of the final to just get rid of humans.
Yeah.
Just send these like zombie hybrid fucking things out real fast all over the world,
To
swarm
kill,
the earth
yeah.
like ants, come back and eat
Kill,
the planet.
spread, and infect, and just keep doing the
So yeah,
thing.
that was the next approach. And I was like, holy shit.
And that's such a like you said, refreshing take on Godzilla because it's
It's
not
a refreshing take on a monster,
Period.
let alone Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla's kind of a. I mean, it's lost its luster. It never really has. It's always been a niche thing.
and it's always gonna. I feel
And
like
it has more attention than ever. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we have new Godzilla movies coming out as we speak.
right.
There's a lot of new fans coming in.
Yeah,
So yeah, everything's refreshing right now, but it's also a lot of rehashes.
that's true.
But it was unique in its own way.
I
Hiring
liked
a
it.
fucking anime director to come up with this shit,
Yeah,
coming up with a new Godzilla form, let alone it was supposed to be a galaxy or some shit.
and
the
see,
end.
I can ask you this because I know you've seen them. Do you think that the Death Note live action films influence this in any sort of way?
Which
The two,
the original
the
Japanese
original
live
two,
actions?
with the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the song credit, the movie credits.
No, maybe.
I feel like it has a lot to do with getting these made.
Is there any director involved or anything? Or
No, I just feel like they may. I'm not sure. I don't know any of these names really offhand, but I just feel like the success from those with the Godzilla property. I feel like it showed them that there was a niche.
I will admit that the Japanese Death Note live actions aren't bad, but I don't see where you're going with that.
I don't know. Maybe just the Japanese crossover market here.
Oh, I guess.
You see what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like,
Is that what you're trying to get? Like, as far as the impact in America?
maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not often a quote-unquote foreign film is
Right.
at the same time viewing in America.
Yeah, because I mean, like, now we have Squid Game and Parasite and all these.
Yeah.
I mean, we got plenty
So,
now.
okay,
but
if that's where you're going with it, I think that's where you're going with it as
Yeah.
far as, like, the impact that you were able to find it and give a shit.
exactly.
Opposed to, like, oh, there's a Godzilla.
Well, yeah, just even to hear about it, I've heard about it several times now. Like,
Yeah, because you asked me, you're like, can we do this one?
yeah, exactly.
And I was like, dude, fucking, I don't even if it's the worst one. Even if you pulled out, like, fucking, you know, a gum or a film. Like, dude, you picked a kaiju film? Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
But, yeah, no, I get what you're saying now as far as the impact it could have.
Yeah, and it did well. Like, I mean, at the box office, 15 million budget and grossed 78.
Oh, it did fantastic.
Yeah,
It did fantastic. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there's a statue outside Toho Studios,
yeah,
and it was always the Godzilla you know and love.
yeah.
They replaced that 50-something, 60-year-old statue with the Shin form.
Nice.
And they used it on marketing. I think they still do. I haven't bought a figure in a minute
Right.
because I'm trying to show restraint. But yeah, they had them on stickers a lot, and they were fully. I mean, Japan was
Behind.
for saying this was the next Godzilla.
Yeah,
And this came out kind of in between the legendaries starting. And Japan likes to take their time with Godzilla. They either push them out or they don't. They know when to drop one.
uh-huh.
So I think they're just waiting, and I'm curious if they stick with it because they seem to have committed. And like, I think it might be an old wives' tale, but I think they replaced that Godzilla statue with Shin. Because I know I've seen them on stickers and shit where you usually see like, you know, I mean it still counts as own form. They still have like this is a Shin Godzilla figure. It's not like Godzilla. This is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, he made a big impact. This was a big thing for Godzilla in Japan to do was, you know, finally admit, like, okay, it's time to fully shake up Godzilla and give you something no one's seen. And they did it. Fucking, again, human hybrid tail shit coming out the end.
Yeah, the best.
It's laser beam, the atomic breath.
Oh,
If
the
you were fucking-
best. The atomic breath was phenomenal.
You were like, the fuck? Because I don't think it had any, like, real action in the second / final form. Well, not final form, but one of its final forms on screen.
Yeah,
It hadn't done the atomic breath. It was just stomping and shit like that. And they had like opera or some shit set in because it was an evacuation. You're like, okay. And
yeah.
I saw he like light up
Yeah.
and like lean forward.
Like, oh shit.
And I've seen this a million times, so I was like, oh yeah, you just know like. Again, you've seen like the legendary and shit. It's a different atomic breath.
Totally different. Yeah, this was like a supercharged version of it, and like just spraying it at the ground and then taking out and then going down the streets.
That
And
like smog.
spreading through the highways, and like the way
It
it
was good.
protected its own eyes with the fucking like the eyelids come down, and it's like, oh shit.
Oh,
yeah.
you caught that?
Yeah.
He made like welding shields out of silver.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was like perfect.
Well, that is in retaliation because you saw him bomb it once before and it like hit it on its shoulder. Well, its eye got damaged.
Exactly.
So it evolved. It made silver shields.
Yeah, it was
And
like fuck that.
It evolved to
They're
have
gonna
its
burn
own.
my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, and it just happened to like, well, this works for my atomic breath.
And you could just tell like the strength of it was slowly gaining strength while it was using the atomic breath.
Well, it changed the sound.
Yeah.
You might have caught on, but it's always like a ee.
Yeah.
This was like a engine starting, like a wah, 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 wah,
Yeah, because
wah, wah, wah.
it's black smoke, red fire, blue fire, purple.
Yeah, it's like a purpley blue, and then it starts like shrinking to like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does turn into a lightsaber.
Oh, it's like literally.
And it just starts
Yeah.
shaking its head and wiping out buildings.
It's so good. Again, it's such a fresh approach. Cause yeah, usually it's like it's attack cool, but it's always friends with humans.
Yeah.
Not friends, but I mean like it's not just unless they reboot it every 10 years. But
Yeah.
it was the first time it got to attack a city
Right.
and just take shit out.
It's like, fuck it, I am the bad guy.
So right, yeah, it was dope to see like the fucking smog creeping in real fast.
That was
Everyone escaping the tunnels and it filling the tunnel for like 2 seconds and just like you could tell you knew the ambassadors and shit were gonna die.
of course.
But no, it was dope. The fucking lightsaber is the best.
The best.
It had like back strobe lights and shit. It's so good. I loved everything about Shin, and I like '98. I like new things.
Me too, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with a fresh take on an old character.
No. I mean, it's like changing Batman's suit.
Exactly, yeah. How many different Batman types have we had in the past now? Like,
yeah, everyone thinks of their own. It's like you think of the Christian Bales, or you think of the Adam West, or you think of the animated.
yeah.
Every suit's different, technically. So, I mean, why? It's always Godzilla. It's always Batman. You can change shit up. Yeah, this was nice. And even the Legendary is different.
Absolutely.
Which, yeah, we haven't gotten into. Because I generally like those films. The Kong one is fucking dope.
Yeah.
The accent crocodile.
Yeah.
Oof. See, I'm about that shit. Like, make it an animal again.
Let's do it.
Yeah, the Legendary feels very, animal. This feels very foreign.
Yes.
It's so creepy. It's like Silent Hill, Godzilla.
Kind of.
It's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's obviously Evangelion, but I'm not gonna... Yeah,
Just
we know,
point that out,
We
yeah.
know it's the guy. It's not a fucking fact.
Right.
But yeah, to compare it, yeah, it felt like Silent Hill, especially the human forms and shit.
Yeah, it definitely looked like something from an alternate universe.
See, I thought when you were like, oh, did the DeathNote... Because I thought you were talking about the human... Like, maybe, I was like, well, maybe if you're gonna go with... Because you didn't mention the tail or anything, but I was like, are you going with, like, the human things at the tail? Because I will not admit, but it looks...
DeathNote-ish.
That, the Shinigami kind of, like, vibe, that, like, sinewy and barely any wooden bone skeleton holding it together.
Right.
Like, okay, I'll barely give you legs.
Yeah, and just like the human interactions in the parts of the movie
Yep.
felt very similar. Like with the police force, with this task force, they were set up.
I get that too. Okay.
Very
I
similar
get what you're saying now
of
with
the
that
two.
angle as well. Weird movie to pick, but I can see it.
Just kind of both being Japanese movies that have found their way over here.
Critiques on shit. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, DeathNote is... I don't know if it's official, but it kind of seems like a critique on the Japanese police, like, as far as... Like,
Pretty much.
they let serial killers go because no county or
Yeah.
town interacts with each other. Everything's an isolated murder in every town.
Yeah. There's like, oh, it's just unsolved here. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
There couldn't be... happen to be a milkman
Exactly.
that's going house to house or town to... You know, weird shit.
I
think it's kind of like that.
Probably is.
So,
On some
fuck it.
level.
We'll go with it.
I'm with it. What would you rate it? What are we rating it?
Man, I don't even know. It's its own thing. It's a 9 out of 9 only because it's different. It's its own thing. I can't compare it to Legendary.
Right.
It's something
Compared to
unique.
other Godzillas?
I don't know. It depends on the type of fan that's listening to it.
Right.
If I'm talking to someone that barely knows Godzilla, I'd say the Legendaries I compare it to just to like make them feel comfortable. But if I'm talking to someone that loves like the Destroyer one, or you know, fucking Biolante or something like that, or
Right.
Hedorah, it all depends. If you like Hedorah, I'd say it's on the same level, like a 6, 7, 8 little niche area, depends on your comfort. If you like Destroyer, it's probably 8 out of 9 because it evolves. It takes over a city, it's just pure destruction. It just happens to not be an enemy kaiju, it's Godzilla.
And see, me, I'd give it just like from a movie watcher perspective, not being in the world or anything, just comparing it to everything else.
Just a monster flick kind of thing, you
Yeah,
vaguely know it.
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah.
I'd give it a solid 7 because of the length. 2 hours long.
The length and the subtitles,
Yeah,
and there's a
yeah.
lot of factors. It's a foreign film.
Yeah, the dialogue obviously is a lot of useless dialogue for what the movie is.
You made a comment because I think I put on subtitles and there were subtitles on the movie because at a point because you were like, there's 2 fucking subtitles.
Yeah, like,
because there's people talking over each other.
Yeah.
And the movie's already trying to translate something because it knows it's fucking confusing.
So many voices at one time. Yeah.
I thought you'd give it a 6, but I like that you gave it a 7.
No, I give it a 7 because it's fucking awesome.
Well, yeah.
Like the monster
But
itself. That's why.
Hold on.
That's why we're here, is for the kaiju, for the monster. Like,
Exactly.
I'd give him a 7. I'd give that a 7. The movie itself kind of takes away from it.
It's just I know the dialogue and being all subtitles and everyone.
Yeah.
It is dragging if you don't give a shit enough to give a shit.
I wish there was more. Like, I wish
As far as,
there was more
monsters?
Godzilla on screen.
I absolutely.
Wish there was more, like, show it grow, like, show shit fall off and reattach and become the all. Like, they could have took more time to actually show Godzilla, which I imagine it was already so hard to make. And
Man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to give it like an 8 now because I'm thinking maybe 8 or a 9. I'd say an 8 or 8.5, 9 because, like, man, the fact that it's just lingering in the middle of, like, Tokyo or whatever town that is now,
yeah,
like, it's
just flipping around wrecking shit.
well, no, it's frozen. They can't.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
yeah. At
moved.
the end,
The
yeah,
ending,
yeah.
the ending is literally like now Godzilla's a skyline part of Japan because
Exactly.
like, what are we gonna do with it? We can't move it. It's gonna wake up. It's not awake right now, so I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's
What the
going
fuck?
back into hibernation mode.
Yeah.
Type.
So I mean, that's just so ominous.
It is.
So I gotta give it. That's just such an ending.
I wonder if they'll come back to it.
I hope they do.
I'd like. This is one that I would.
I doubt,
I'd
but
watch
I
a
hope.
sequel for. Yeah, I don't know as far as I mean, like we said, we've seen Legendary come in now.
Like I said, I hope they're waiting to just drop another Shin.
That would be dope.
So like, cause it's weird. You don't know this, but like Ultraman, you've heard
Right,
the name before.
yes.
Well, now there's a Shin Ultraman, and they have this weird Shin verse happening,
Yeah.
and they're doing a lot of like animated some shit recently. Like the G Planet is actually a thing,
Yeah.
but on a different anime.
That's crazy.
It's weird. So like I don't know what they're doing. They seem to, like I said, they seem to be going full force with it, but there's been no sequel. And
Huh.
this is what 16 you said?
16, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been long enough.
Right.
You would think
It's been 6 years now.
at least an announcement like coming in 2025.
Something. Yeah, yeah. Some
If they're
kind of
doing it.
teaser, some
Exactly.
storyboard images or something.
Yeah, because like I said, they seem to be doing like a G Planet and calling shit Shin Ultraman and Shin fucking blah blah blah.
Makes me wonder if they're not just going full force with this Legendary shit then.
Well, I don't know.
Zilla vs. Kong just come out
They
and,
don't-
and they made like a
See, that's the thing about keeping the
spectacle of
market
it.
quiet.
Yeah. It
But they don't give a shit. They
I wonder-
always run their own. America does their own
America
thing.
does their own license from it.
Yeah, they're allowed to,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know then.
unless they fuck it up like '98 where they yank it.
Yeah, they took it back.
But they yank it from a studio,
Right.
as opposed to like, I mean, they yanked it because they had full. I think they're lending it way more to America now, where we're allowed to
Yeah.
have the legendary verse, and whether they like it or not, they'll like it. But
Mm-hmm.
when Japan wants to drop a fucking bombshell, I
Yeah.
don't need to fucking talk to you for scheduling.
Yeah.
If mine blows yours out of the water,
Exactly.
fuck you. That's my scheduling. I can do my thing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I
But
like it.
but yeah, I'm with it. 7, 8. We're up in there.
Yeah, I want to say 8.5 only because it is so unique and, like I said, the ominous of it being now
Still
a skyline.
still a thing.
Yeah, just a giant statue of it.
If they come back to it, it's a fucking 8. If they do, like they continue, it's a fucking 8.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's my rating.
Oh, if they come after, it's gonna be a 10. Unless it's the worst movie in the world, it'll be my first official 10.
Right.
Because like, yo. But yeah. Good
Shin
night. Oh, we're gonna do
Godzilla?
Cloverfield too soon.
Yeah. Well,
We're gonna do an American Matt Reeves kaiju flick.
yep. And probably Kong Skull Island will be soon.
I don't know if we're gonna do that. I think Star Wars maybe. Let's do some space.
Let's do it. George Lucas, baby.